Alrighty, good evening. Welcome to the SRU Truck Series here tonight. Brought to you by the B&R Racing Network. Only here tonight at Darlington for 100 laps. Slick track. Lady in black. Too tough to tame, as we all know her by. Absolutely is not one of my favorite tracks for sure. I didn't do any officials here when they came. Well, actually, sorry, I did one. So as you see here, Chris Campbell and his mellow yellow Ford 68 machine taking his laps. The 70 of Mike Chamberlain and his Bad Bunny Ranch. Currently on top, Zach Deuscher with a 29.61. Also Paul Witt out here in the number 29 Autism Awareness Chevy truck. P2, Chamberlain P3, Chris Campbell. P4, Story P5. Philip Bridgman now on board with Philip in that Valvoline Chevy number 5. As he completes his first lap. Jason Adams now coming around here to do his first lap. Philip Bridgman on his second lap there. In the green at the moment. I do believe he's going to hit 29.58. Is going to keep his first lap. Same thing with Jason, moves up to P3. Right there. As he's coming to take his second lap. Right on board with Jason. Good evening, Will. Welcome up.
Yes, good evening, Brian. Just got up here. Was down basically pit lane, garage area. Just chit-chatting with the fellow competitors in this evening's race here at Darlington. 40 to 45 laps on a full tank, so shouldn't really see fuel mileage be a play with the race break at lap 45 here this evening. So, but tires, tire management here will be a big talking point this evening in this short little sprint race here, 100 lap feature in the SRU Truck Series this evening as we are watching qualifying.
Oh yeah. Jeff Gilmore moves up to P3 now, which will knock Jason Adams down one spot and Philip Bridgman down 2 spots. But anyway, as qualifying still goes on, we're going to go over a little race information here. So, we have Darlington, South Carolina. Current track length is 1.3 miles. Current temperature of the track is 82 degrees. Race information, 100 laps, it's actually 136.6 miles, but you ran that, which makes it 137. They got unlimited tires, 2 fast repairs, 3 attempts at a green-white checker. They have 75% fuel. I got to fix that stage brake because it is at 45, as Will said. 77 degrees is the current weather outside, 56% humidity, partly cloudy with a 2-mile-per-hour wind. So that could play a big factor along the backstretch, Will. But that's that. So qualifying comes to an end here we'll go over the starting grid here. So P1 will be Zach Deuscher, P2 will be Paul Witt, P3 will be Jeff Gilmore, P4 will be Jason Adams, P5 will be Philip Bridgman, P6 will be Mike Chamberlain, P7 will be Danny Story, P8 will be Chris Campbell, P9 will be Josh Caudle, P10 will be David Cassidy, P11 will be Chris Brown, P12 will be Terry DeGay, P13 will be Mark Kosick, P14 will be Michael Palmer, P15 will be Robert Cheswick, P16 will be Jim. So that is that. Does this have... No, so we'll go ahead and do this. That's okay. Well, let's see if we can go ahead and talk to our pole sitter. Always good to hear from them, you know? Oh, we don't want to do that. Zach Deutsch, you got me.
Hello, sir.
Well, currently sitting on the pole. I'll be damned, this Discord. Currently sitting on the pole here. Looks like you got that truck locked in place and ready for tonight. As we were talking chit-chat a little bit earlier, you have a very love-hate relationship with this track. According to me, I hate the living hell out of this track. So, what did it take for you to get that fast lap? And did you have to finesse with that number 21 Ford machine you have?
Not really. The car's on rails for the most part, but I'm worried about the long run. I know I'm fast, but we'll see how we do tonight.
Yeah. This track is a little loose, a little slippery. You got one of the fastest to your outside width. Could you possibly hold Witt off? I'm sure you guys are at one to go, so I'm going to hurry up and get through this. Do you think you have what it takes to hold off Paul Witt?
Yes, I do.
Alright, well, we'll be keeping an eye on you and Paul Witt majority of the race. Best of luck to you, and go get it.
Yeah, thanks for broadcasting, guys.
Yeah. Well, Will, Zach Deuscher thinks he can hold off Paul Witt. But we'll just have to wait and see.
Yes, Brian, everybody going to have to probably get into stride here, get into momentum, kind of, you don't want to hit the wall too many times here, but it's bound to happen at some point or another, probably about after the second or third time, depending on how rough of a hit it may be. You might get some severe damage. You might lose a couple of tenths of speed, but here we come through turn 4. Brian coming to get the green flag here for the initial time.
And there it is, Will. The green flag is out as they come across the line here to get ready to take lap 1. As you see here, a good start for the front 2. I like to keep this one focused, excited. That's what I like. So far, so good at the moment.
Going to be very careful and cautious going through turns 1 and 2 side by side. It's normally just typically one lane through the corners, give or take, but especially there's a terrible bump on the exit of turn 2. You got to be very cautious there, but
I hate that bump. It gets me every time. I hate it. I don't like it. And I'm sure we're going to be talking about that a lot and seeing how that will take place in the longer the runs we have. Oh. I don't like to hear myself all that time, but that's right.
Yeah, in real life, Brian, they have reprofiled turn 2, kind of repaved it. That bump, I don't think, is as bad with that reprofiling of the track there, but I don't think they have rescanned Darlington for iRacing in a handful of years, so don't know if that's going to be scheduled anytime soon or not, but these drivers still having to deal with all of the nicks and crannies and the bumps here at Darlington, though.
Yes, sir. A little inside scoop. I did hear that iRacing itself was at Bowman Gray. So those who liked Bowman Gray or been to shows there, which I have, it is a great track. It brings out the best of male and females when they start brawling with each other. But Bowman Gray is a great track. It is, do believe, the same exact length as the Coliseum, but a lot more better. I mean, I would assume for those who like the late models and the SKs. So maybe we can look forward to seeing that in the next few months. But I do know that I did hear they've been putting out a next big update. Well, so we could possibly have some rain. They've been releasing some rain in these pictures that they've been showing, and we're getting a new type of LMDH type of sports car. I'm not even gonna say it. That's all right. Yes. It's a nice one.
It must not be the Cadillac then.
It is the Cadillac. Thank you. I think they call it the oh wait, I just seen it. iRacing. Sheesh. They need to scan Wake County is what they need to do.
Yeah, I kind of, whenever they announced that the Clash was moved from Daytona to the LA Coliseum, I get it. It's almost a new market for NASCAR, but at the same time, you have Bowman Gray right there at the disposal. It's in a way right down the road from all the team's headquarters, in a sense. Not too far from where you live, that's for sure. But good battle here on track at the moment. Jason Adams, Jeff Gilmore, Philip Bridgman, all within a few truck lengths of one another, battling for third position on track at the moment. Zach Deuscher and Paul Witt driven away to a 4-second lead. Paul Witt just 3/10 back of Deuscher in the lead at the moment, has led every lap from the drop of the green flag at this moment, 8 laps into this event.
Yes,
7,
sir,
we will be 8 in total this time by.
So it is
my apologies, sorry.
Laguerre JS, the P320. So that's more of an LMP3, I would say. I really wouldn't say an LMDH, and not a caddy. But they're supposed to be putting the caddy in, so whenever that'll be.
Gotcha. I know it's on the cover of the new Forza Motorsport game.
Oh yeah.
That and the electric Corvette. They got that on the cover. But good battle at the moment. I guess you could call it a battle. A little tussle here for first and second. Good hard charger, Paul Witt and Zach Deuscher. Zach almost hit the wall there that time by, going through turn 2, but glampsing back again here. Looks like Gilmore.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, it looked like Story's down the pits, maybe a little contact with that wall, maybe a little hard hitting to the wall, which caused him to get a meatball, and he'll just come down and fix that and maybe get him out a little quicker. I didn't see nothing on my relative here where it said anything with him, so that's that.
Yeah, quite unfortunate, but like you said, that damage can sometimes just reach out, or the wall reach out, grab you, just put a lot of damage to you, make you have to come down, like you said, fix that damage. Those meatball flags are not nice.
No. We've seen a lot of them guys in the Cup Series get plenty of meatball flags early on in the season. Broken toe links and stuff like that. And Phillip makes contact with the wall there as he does it again.
Yes, dragging the wall down on the back straightaway, Philip Bridgman. I noticed that Chamberlain in the 70 did the exact same thing, very similar moment the lap prior, and that time, that lap, it was Bridgman's turn. That turn 2 exit, like we said, not necessarily that bump, but just that exit as well of turn 2, just kind of narrows up and it just comes out so quick to you, just almost like a jump scare. That wall just comes there before you even know it. Paul Witt now dropping off the pace of Zach Deutscher here early on, possibly could be saving some tire on that 29 machine. That would be my speculation. Got to run at least 45 laps. Some people possibly would be trying to save some gas because some people might not be able to go the full 45 lap distance here, the opening stretch before the race break. Just all depends. Some other competitors, though, will most definitely, I do believe, Brian, that's why we see the big gap from second to third at least, is some of these drivers, basically the big gaps throughout the field, as Bridgman losing some more spots, possibly more contact to the wall, or the damage has just slowed that truck down and lost a couple of more spots there to Cottle and Brown. So,
yeah. Well, this track is a little difficult, Will. You know this from the console side of things. We were phenomenal for beating that wall down about 80 times, or possibly more than that, but obviously...
At least, yes.
At least on the console side of things, you can beat the wall down and it won't affect your car any. Unfortunately, on this platform here of the iconic iRacing sim...
You don't want to do it too many times.
Exactly.
You don't want to do it at least... You might be able to get away with doing it once, and then even that might be harmful enough. But you never want to hit the wall too hard nor aggressively, but sometimes you can hit it just right, and you can just barely kiss it, maybe just a light touch, and it won't slow your momentum down, and it may not give you any damage, but the way we've seen some of these truckers hit it this evening already, definitely going to be a lot of damage.
Philip is in the pits. Wonder if he made some contact there.
Oh yes, that would probably be definitely pitting because of damage, more than likely. Just true speculation, but yes, I would have to agree with you. More than likely, just too many good sustained hits to that outside wall has just compromised that truck, slowing it way down there.
It looks like it is a little beat up at the moment. So he had a little...
As we can...
couple of damage there.
Yeah. Also see how difficult it can be getting onto pit road there.
Oh yeah. Tricky, you gotta hit it, make sure you do not speed. So, I'm phenomenal for it. I always get caught with it here. Every time we come here. I am phenomenal for speeding because right where that line is on iRacing. It is not the actual line that Darlington itself calculates.
Yeah, that they use in real life.
Exactly. So
normally on iRacing, yes, normally, like you're saying, iRacing, the actual commitment speed line that clocks you for commitment speed is a little bit further into the pit lane entrance at most of your tracks. Pretty much, I would say 90%, if not 95, or all of the pretty much iRacing tracks, the commitment line is further back than what you think it should be, or is. And it'll really catch you off guard if you're not used to it, but Yeah, you got to be careful with that as well, getting onto pit road, as well as just slowing up. Different ways of getting onto pit road here. Like you saw Philip Bridgman, that way of getting on, that's probably one of the better ways. You could kind of commit, basically turn down before you turn into turn 3. You kind of almost get off on the back straightaway. And get down on the flat of the track that way. That's one way of doing it, but you almost compromise too much speed by scrubbing so much speed off that way, but there's just so many different ways about doing it here.
Oh yeah. This track's very, I don't even know what to call it, to be honest with you. But as earlier...
Tricky may not be the word for it, Brian. It just...
That's for sure. So, what everybody always told me, let the track drive you. Or you drive the track and not let the track drive you. Something like that. Just let...
That's a good term for it.
Let the track, or you drive the track. However it goes, whatever it is, just do it that way. Because it is very tricky. Me, I do good in 1 and 2, but holy crap, in 3 and 4 I ain't about nothing. 1 and 2 is great, but little does everybody not know, if you guys do not know, turns 1 and 2 is a hell of a lot different than 3 and 4. 3 and 4s I do believe will, correct me if I'm wrong, a little bit more steeper than 1 and 2. But everybody thinks that all the ends are equal.
No, Darlington's very egg-shaped.
Just like that, there's the Darlington stripe on that 25. That's the other thing. Trying to pick the right time to pass. You know and I know, Will, it's very difficult to pass there or possibly race side by side. But as you see here, Will, Zach Deutscher has almost 11 seconds over P2. But I wonder if Chamberlain's saving, but Zach's pushing. So it's going to come down to when do they throw that yellow flag.
I think Chamberlain has saved almost enough, maybe, to not have to pit. But Deutscher, I think it's going to trap some of these guys, possibly maybe a lap down. I would be surprised. Maybe Paul Witt and Zach Deutscher could be able to get their lap back with fresh tires, because we do see Paul Witt lost a lap when he did pit. I want to say he basically chose to pit first and kind of split the beginning of this race in half, but don't know if some of his fellow competitors are going to feel the same way as far as having to having to actually make a pit stop here. They could just very well be conserving the very best they can. Looks like to me that is what they're doing, but pure speculation.
There's a lot of them coming down, Will, so that is a possibility. So they're going to run the 15 laps, but now that they're doing that, I would take enough to get to the end of the stage is what I would do. And then on lap 45 or 45 coming to 46 is normally when they throw it, or 44 coming to 45 they'll throw it. Then I would come in and take a full tank of fuel and stuff like that.
Yes.
But I think a lot of them are just going to just fill the tank up for the heck of it, because you know and I know it can get tricky out here.
Yes, Adams pitting as well. He was one that I kind of had an eye on, thinking he may not stop until the race break, but proved me wrong there with my hunches.
Oh yeah, and
I still kind of have faith maybe in Gilmore.
We forgot to do that. That's because I was too busy talking to Zach. That's why. Yes, that's what it was. That's all right. Well, next week they go to the iconic North Wilkesboro. We've seen the race there in real life on TV. Larson did a hell of a job, I would have said, for Spire. Good to see. Oh, 3 wide as they try to make it. I can't quite do it. So, but he got Spire a win in the truck, which is phenomenal. That's always good to see a not so top tier team get an actual win with the Cup guy in it. I thought that was cool and ironic. So that's always good for Spire Motorsports. But the iconic North Wilkesboro. Why don't you go ahead and give these fans a little history about North Wilkesboro, since you are NASCAR enthusiast. You know a lot more about it than probably quite a few more others.
Yes, North Wilkesboro originally came onto the scene. Originally was a dirt track, mainly out in a farm field, like a lot of other tracks of the Timer era that was sprouting up along the south to southeast region, Midwest area. Racing was becoming very popular after World War II, and shortly after it was eventually paved. I want to say maybe 52, late 50s, somewhere around the 50s, I believe it was eventually paved. But yeah, very historic track. The trucks went there, I think, 95 and 96, or maybe just 96. They went there the final year. The Winston Cup cars went there. Now, like you said, they came back this past week and had a pretty good showing. I felt it was a pretty good race. They could have used some of that government and federal money that they had to refurbish the track to probably repave it, but maybe hopefully it will be repaved and we can see a little bit better racing than what we saw this past week. I was a fan of the racing in both the truck and somewhat. I feel like if it was a full Cup field, it would have been a better race. I'm not saying that the All-Star race wasn't, but
well, there's a lot of upset people about it, but that is going to happen when they try new things. Well, a little inside scoop, they are talking about bringing it back for a points-paying race and redoing the surface. So that'll also make things probably a little bit more interesting.
Did Gilmore miss? Gilmore, yeah. I think, was going to pit there on lap 36 and missed the pit road entry, or just lost his place there on the track, perhaps, maybe. It looked like he was for sure going to, or maybe he's just running slow to save that. I think he's just running slow to save that extra fuel, because if you think about it, he's got a good gap to here to the leader and to basically the guys with the fresh set of tires as well. So to be honest, he's not losing too much ground there in doing that strategy that he's doing. Just if he can stay out on the track just a few more laps longer here is truly all he needs. And David Cassidy there in the Red Baron, Ken Schrader paint scheme there in that 17 number of his. Good showing for David here at Darlington as he lightly brushes the wall.
I don't know if you can hear it, but David is shutting his car off.
No, I cannot.
Yeah, David.
I would have to turn television up for that.
That's right.
But yeah, that's interesting. That's one of the, like you say there, that is one of the cool tips of the trade that you have at your disposal on iRacing, on this platform, on this sim, to either per se, depending on, I know they did some updates and certain cards on the platform. you can't no longer pop the clutch in and save fuel on certain race machines, but
Yes, that is true.
I know I think you still can on all of the stock cars for the most part.
Yes.
But shutting the engine off is another good way about doing it. I know that's probably one trick I would probably use.
Oh yeah. As you see there, Philip is trying to get by Cassidy, but Cassidy is doing whatever he can to save as much fuel as he can to beat Chamberlain. As you see there, Terry DeGay is back into the wall, getting another dosage of the Lady in Black.
Well, if you're somebody just trying to save fuel, you just kind of want to get out of people's way that are coming up behind you on fresher tires, or you may be trying to get a lap back, per se. You just want to kind of get out of their way, maybe find a lane and stay in it. Oh, man, poor Terry.
That's right.
In practice, we were watching, and he was having a whale of a time in practice. But whatever you're being conservative, whether you're trying to just save tire, I think we might have saw a bump there between the 24 and 25, getting into turn 1 at the moment, but I think they're settling in, and everybody got it under control there. But yeah, you just want to be very conservative if you're trying that fuel mileage game or trying to get it all you can get out of it. Not sure. I think Philip finally got around Cassidy, so he would have about maybe 5 seconds. I don't know. I don't think he's going to get there, Brian, before they throw the caution out.
I do not think so. Like I said, I think they throw it 45 coming to 46. Philip needs to get by, I was just about to say, he needed to get by Palmer, but I don't think he did. So Palmer, unfortunately, is going to be your lucky dog.
Yes, fortunately for Palmer, that's going to help him out a lot, get back on the lead lap. Basically, this final, we'll probably go back green here, maybe 49 laps to go.
I do believe so, just about coming to halfway. So, I know this is a fast-paced race for sure.
Have to see here when we do go back green, because these truckers may not be able to make it if we go back green here.
I do believe Chamberlain ran out.
Wow.
Oh no. Yeah, because you see Palmer giving him a push. So Philip will get the lucky dog. We can watch the race at a pit road too. That's always good. I like to talk to Palmer here. Or Chamberlain, sorry, I like to talk to Chamberlain. Oh, Chamberlain. As you see there, he's cruising to get to his pit box. And he'll get there. Oh. In real NASCAR, this is illegal. You do not want to do this. Poor Palmer.
I'm surprised with all the rules and everything that's in iRacing. I'm surprised it's not a rule in iRacing.
Yeah, well, I think they're going to try to implement that. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk to the end of the stage winner there, Chamberlain. Mr. Mike, you got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you did have enough fuel at the end of that stage, but unfortunately you ran out a little early. Well, what an awesome help from Mr. Palmer there to give up his wave around to help you get to the pit. So that's nice of him.
He's a good man.
Yes, he is. I would have done the same thing to you. How's that truck doing? And do you think you have what it takes, if it comes down towards the end, to possibly get her in victory lane?
I'm good on the long runs, so as long as we can go the next 45 laps green, I should be good.
Yes, indeed. That's what it does look like that you would be. Will, you got anything for Mr. Chamberlain here?
Mike, from the most part, when we're viewing you, it kind of seems like turn 2, the exit of turn 2, that bump maybe there could be like the only problem you kind of seem to be having this evening. Maybe if you could conquer that, you think for sure you could have something there at the end?
Yeah, it seems like everybody's having problems in 3 and 4. I'm actually getting 3 and 4 pretty good.
Which is always a good thing. So yes, sir. Well, I do believe you guys will be coming back to green this time. Keep your head up, keep your elbows tight. Go out there and do your thing.
Thank you, guys.
No problem. Oh, Zach Oyster's back in the lead. Well, look at that, Will. You called it. Zach Deutsche.
What did I say?
Zach Deutsche will cycle back out to the front.
Oh, yes.
Oh, there he is. Right there. But he's got Cassidy behind him, and Cassidy's very good. So.
Wonder what happened to Paul Witt here. He's way down the order. Maybe way by or something. Did he go back in for maybe an extra splash? Or
he probably did. That's probably what happened. So they probably moved him. So iRacing probably moved him to the back. So normally when they do that, iRacing will move him to the back. So it's just like a drop to the end. So, well, next time by they will be halfway.
And Zach Deutscher with a good restart that time. Chamberlain. Gilmore almost able to prevent him from sliding up in front of him, but not quite able to match the pace on the restart of Deutscher, but he tried, that is for sure. Put up an awful good fight on that outside lane, but sometimes, that wheel spin here at Darlington can come to bite you when you least expect it. So Deutscher trying to pull back out a decent-sized lead, have a good buffer on the field. Currently, 8 trucks on the lead lap here. Whole gobble, let's just say, a lap down. And Cheswick is 2 laps down. Coleman'sberger, for some reason, out of this race, Brian. 16 competitors was entered or was going to start.
Oh, yeah.
We got 15 still running.
Yeah. Maybe mechanical issues on that number 11 Chevy machine there, which does happen.
I'm sure that these competitors that are on the lead lap, even the ones up front, may want some type of caution. They don't want to be the caution, but they want a caution to come out so they don't have to worry about sweating for that fuel. They can come in, hopefully that caution comes out in just a handful of laps, so it will definitely be in the pit window. At the moment, just outside, but if the caution was to come out, maybe be certified gold, but at the moment, now it would probably be good. Nah, still not. Maybe a couple more laps, and then we might be okay, Brian, but don't necessarily want to see a caution. I'm just saying from a strategy or a race strategist point of view, what might happen. as we saw some dust up there. I think either Cassidy or Chamberlain got in the wall there.
Wow. Sounds like it's called by Mark.
Yeah, okay, it was Koshik there that got in the wall, I guess. Somebody got in the wall. About a lap to go.
So, yes, and I'm with you. I would like to see strategy play out and not get a caution. So, play the strategy outright and let it go from there. If you can time the strategy right, then you deserve to win this race. Absolutely, 100%. But the question is, you don't want to pit too early because now you're going to have bad tires. And when the rest of your fellow competitors come into pit, now you went out there, abused your tires so early, and now you're just going to fade to the back, and that could cost you possibly a top 5 or possibly the win. We've seen how well that worked throughout the years.
Yes, but also when you do pit, depending on where you are, like say if you're Zach Deuscher, you could actually bring somebody like Jeff Gilmore down to pit with you, or maybe if you're Gilmore and you pit before Deuscher, try to do the undercut over the race leader. That might bring the race leader in earlier than he was expecting to come. So racing is such a awesome sport.
Yes.
Anyway, but as we see Zach Deuscher extending that lead out to about, I would say, a good margin, a good distance over second place competitor Jeff Gilmore. David Cassidy basically 6 seconds off the pace of the race leader. So that's the top 3 at the moment. Chamberlain there with that decent pace, hanging on to a top 5. Paul Witt, I think, kind of struggling since that restart, or maybe perhaps just logging laps and possibly conserving fuel here with it at the same time.
Yes.
Maybe another competitor, like possibly Chris Brown in the 92, could be one to watch as far as just lurking. Maybe he could be another fellow competitor out here just saving fuel. Oh man, Campbell with a big hit there. But yeah, you see what transpired what happened in the first part of this race with the fuel window that these truckers have. So if you push extra hard or are extremely quick from the get-go, from the drop of the green flag, you might only get 42, 44 laps. You're not going to get actual 45. We saw Mike Chamberlain,
Cotto was the first one to pit.
Yes, and he was on the lead lap, but he was the last one on the lead lap. So, not sure how well that's going to help him and the pit delta for him.
That is true. As you see there, now he falls 1 lap down, possibly 2. We don't know yet. We'll see how it plays out. But, well, this is a very long pit road. So, the time's still going, but he had a 14.9 second stop. So, how this platform does it, the app that I use, it calculates your total time from the start of the pits to stopping in your box to exiting your box to exiting out the pits. That's what that time does. It calculates it. So that will give you the actual, your full time of when you first enter the pits to where it counts, and then entering your box, to however long it takes you to get 2 tires, 4 tires, fuel, fix some damage, whatever it is, and then leaving your box and then leaving the pits. So that little timer there just gives you overall.
So let's roughly say that the pit road delta time loss is, let's say, 53 to 54 seconds. We just saw there a total of about 53 and a half seconds for that number 25 truck machine going down pit lane into the pit box, like you said, and then back out again. So that's a lot of time lost on the racetrack. He was, I want to say, 21 to 22 seconds off the pace, and like you said, came out 2 laps down. But he's going to have fresh tires, may be able to get one of those laps back before the actual race leader pits, so he might gain a little bit of ground, but compared to where he was already running on track, it, like we said, may not be too much, but still going to keep an eye on the Chris Brown machine, that 92 truck. Like I said just a few moments ago, I think if anyone might be doing something similar to Chamberlain's race strategy in the first half of the race, it could be Chris Brown. We've seen him have some really good runs so far this season. Just kind of lurk and then be there really well at the end. Paul Witt, was that Paul Witt? That was Paul Witt, wasn't it? I was having a real bad struggling moment.
I think so, yeah.
Or was it?
It was either
So
him or
Darlington,
Mark.
I think that was Paul Witt. So Darlington not being too kind to the outside pole sitter here this evening. Or maybe he might, maybe he thinks it's Atlanta or Kansas. Which it's definitely not. But man, I would not be surprised if that 29 machine, I'm pretty sure that was Paul Witt that ricocheted out the wall. That was a big impact. Looked like maybe the right front could have came up off the ground. That's a hard hit. If so, wouldn't be surprised if a lot of damage was to that truck, if that was the Paul Witt machine. It's kind of that sunset, not quite full sunset glare, but on certain angles, looking down the straightaway at some of these camera angles, you know, you can't quite make out certain trucks, but it looked like that Autism 29 paint scheme. Could have been somebody else, but man. Anywho, that's enough talk about one incident. As we see Gilmore and Cassidy and Chamberlain trying to navigate what is slow traffic at Palmer. Terry Duguay there on the bottom trying to make pit lane. Normally if you see a race truck or race car at Darlington that low, they are trying to make pit lane or have a problem. That time it was definitely Terry Duguay making pit lane.
That it was. Oh, Terry. And it's like we talked about earlier, pit road is tricky.
Yes, it is. Got to whoa up, turn real hard left to the way inside. Just whenever you think you're off the track, you're way off the track and way down on the flat, and very difficult to get on. Probably one of the most, like we said, many different ways to get onto it, but probably one of the top 3 or top 5 difficult pit lanes, pit roads to get on from racing speed on the NASCAR circuit.
Oh yeah, there's a big gaggle of trucks up there. Of
Really, on any...
And do you see David Gilmore? Yeah, David Gilmore.
Yeah.
Yes. Pink Floyd singer. Yes. Jeff Gilmore now making his final pit stop of the night. So I'll do that. Question is, Will, when does Zach come down? When does Cassidy come down? And when does Chamberlain come down?
Well, Zach has been able to pull out a really comfortable lead here. I want to say he had about 9, maybe 10 seconds on Gilmore before Gilmore fell into the clutches of Cassidy and everybody. Gilmore could have whacked the wall, possibly, and lost a lot of time to everybody. Because he was kind of stabilized about 2-3 seconds back from Zach, and then something happened. He had a tremendous fall off there. Everybody caught him. The Red Baron shot him down. So, if I'm Cassidy, I don't really know who I'm battling with. Am I battling against Chamberlain, or am I battling against Gilmore, who just pitted ahead of me? Should I counteract that and then pit here? I think Deutscher's no, he's staying out still. Okay, I thought he was about to pit.
Yes, but you see Bridgman in, Brown is in, so they're coming in. So I say we should see Deutscher in within the next couple of laps.
Here's Brown making his pit stop at the moment. So yeah, right about that 52 to 53 second delta time lost in the pits if you have a good pit stop. If you have a poor pit stop, it's probably more like 55. So yeah, 52 to 55 second loss here at Darlington. Have to remember that later in the banks for when we come back here some other time, because that'll be a good something to gnaw and chew about, talk about while the race is unfolding, hopefully for green flag pit stops.
Yes, hopefully.
Everybody but 3 trucks on the lead lap. I mean, a lap down. I'm talking backwards all of a sudden. But good battle between Chamberlain and Cassidy before they are to make their final scheduled pit stop of the evening.
See, there's Zach Deutscher's now coming in. Yeah, there it is.
Too big.
And that is also going to bring... and Cassidy ran out. Boy, he fell quick.
I don't necessarily think he ran out. He could have ran out for sure, but he was trying to make pit road commitment, but he kind of committed a bit too late there from a live point of view on it. I glanced up at the television, and he turned down a bit too late, perhaps, maybe. He couldn't get the binders on in time and got somewhat back up to speed, then made pit road.
Yeah. Plenty to go, Will. As I think we should do our quick cutaway so we can take a little breather and get us a little sip of something to drink. So we'll go ahead and do that for maybe about a lap or two, because I know we didn't do it early on, so we'll protect ourselves. Enjoy it. Alright, as we come back to action here. 16 to go. Found out. Freaking Libby. There we go.
Yes, Brian, like you said, 16 laps to go here at Darlington SRU Truck Series. We saw Zach Glacier come up and actually had to pass Paul Witt. Paul Witt tried some really good strategy there. He pitted, I would say, a good handful of laps before either Gilmore or Glacier, and then had the lead for a few moments, but just those fresh tires prevailed for the 21, able to dispose of the 29. Almost thought it was going to be compromising, but Paul just kind of struggling here a little bit this evening at Darlington, but still getting after it. Going to salvage a third place after having a very topsy-turvy, I would have to say, evening for him. Just ricocheting out of the wall. I would have to say he's been one to sponge out of the wall better than others this evening. Mike Chamberlain has been another one that we've seen, yet again having multiple Darlington stripes and being somewhat able to get away with it. Looks like Bridgman and Brown might have a tussle there for fourth place at the moment, but something happened. I think Cassidy caught up to Brown, and now trying to catch up to Bridgman. Cassidy has fresh tires compared to those two, I want to say. Cassidy with fresher tires of the five. And, classic. Almost made a bit of trouble for him, but still, all you got to do as a slower traffic, just kind of stay in your lane, and the faster drivers, the faster trucks will find a way around. That's exactly what did happen there. Great example of it. Anytime you're struggling with a track, you just got to try to stick it out, see if you could learn anything from it, so you could take it next time you come here, and just gotta mind your P's and Q's. Hopefully you don't knock the wall down too many times. Pretty good day, though, for the points leader in the SRU Truck Series. Zach Deutscher, I do believe, is the points leader. Actually, it's been a decent minute since I did look at the points, so let's look at them now. Let me pull them up here, Brian, in just a moment. No.
What happened? Sorry.
Oh, I'm mainly just rambling on here.
Oh, no, you're fine. You're good. As you see there, the 92 of Brown running a peculiar line that I would run, but it never does me any good. Never does. I'm always fun. And well, here you go. As you said, the two wide through the turns. See how well that works. Philip Bridgman and David Cassidy. As you see there, Philip Bridgman getting passed twice by Brown, and who is that? Cassidy. We were just talking about Cassidy. And there's that kiss to the wall that we were talking about. see that Brown gets by, what was that, Caudle? Yeah, Caudle.
Yep, got to be very careful like we were talking about just a moment or two ago. Any type of traffic, lap traffic, or just slow traffic, got to be mindful of it. Darlington's one of those places where it can kind of catch you off guard. It's another one of those places, almost like a short track. You're not too sure of other drivers' lifting points. How much they're going to let it roll through these corners, or sometimes you may not necessarily have to as much as that person in front of you, so don't necessarily want to run them over, but still want to give them a chance to be on the same track as you, but easy, breezy day for that 21 machine in the lead. Pretty much dominant performance this evening in this 100 lap event.
Coming to 4 to go, Will. Zach Deutscher's got a almost 13-second lead over Gilmore. Zach Deutscher ended up playing it the right way. And he could secure, see that Paul Witt tail slaps the wall there. Very, very tough, very unfortunate for Paul Witt. Paul Witt is one of their top dogs over here, but it's always good to see a different winner win. But a P3, as he always said, he's not too fond of this track very well since the last time we talked to him. Well, he said he's not a big fan of Darlington, and now we see why. It's rough to him, and don't like him, so that's that. So that can go right in my book too as well. I'm not a big fan of this track.
Darlington can kind of be a real driver's track, and if you don't necessarily have that, and then you just got to settle for a decent outcome, the best one that you can kind of scavenge up at the end of the day. That's kind of what I always did coming into Darlington. There were times that I had decent runs at Darlington, but for the most part it was just a track I just wanted to get done and over with and out of the way. But white flag lap here as Zach Deutscher leading this race. Dominant performance of the night by this 21 machine. And coming home to take that checkered flag, Brian.
Oh yeah, I agree with you, Will. Dominant performance tonight by Zach Deutscher. Nobody was able to touch him throughout majority of the night. If anyone was close enough, I probably would have said would have been Witt. If Witt could have gotten up there, but a big round of applause for Mr. Zach Deutscher and
won this race by 15 and a half seconds. Jeff Gilmore, Paul Witt, David Cassidy, Mike Chamberlain rounds out the top 5. Chris Brown, Philip Bridgman, Mark Cossack, Danny Story, and not sure which Caudle that is, my apologies, in the 25. That's the top 10.
boom, 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 boom. Let's see, yes. Sorry, my bad. Go like that. There you go. So we'll let him celebrate real quick, and we'll let them give a little cool down there, and we'll guys say we talk to Paul Witt. Mr. Paul, you got a copy?
Sure do. I got you.
How's it going, sir?
Oh, it's going just fine. Lady got me a few times
I'm
tonight.
sure that lady did get you quite a few times there, especially I saw the last 5 laps that rear end wanted to slide out a little bit. Um, well, as you said before, coming into this track is not one of your favorites. Why don't you go ahead and go over your overall thoughts and performance of tonight's race?
I tell you, I'm pleased with my performance. I'd have liked to got Jeff for second, but third place, I can't complain about that. This lady here in the black, man, just she eats me alive here, and to come off with a third place finish, uh, I'm happy with that one.
Yes, sir.
Zach was in a totally different zip code on us tonight.
So won by over 15 seconds. Pretty good race-winning margin, I'd have to say there, Paul. Just looked like you were struggling with corner exit a lot, Paul. Tell us about that corner exit, especially off of turn 2. Did I see you get a little bit right front airborne at one point? Perhaps, maybe, I think.
Well, I know I did hit the wall coming out of 2 a couple of times. My worst spot was 3 and 4. That was I can't do that one for the life of me. I have the hardest time in 3 and 4, but 1 and 2 I'm okay with. But once the tires start wearing off on the right front, then I start losing it in 1 and 2. So just need some more practice at it. Good race for Zach and Jeff, and can't believe we actually went caution free.
Tell us, Paul, really truly, what you said after the tires kind of go away, you're really struggling 1 and 2, but tell us, looks like for the most part, Paul, you have it down packed really good at say like the cookie cutters, like the mile and a half, but here at Darlington, not so like all the other tracks. It's really different, 2 different ends, very egg-shapy, but just later on in the run, just kind of describe what you were struggling with just besides the tires wear, I guess you could say.
Well, a lot of it. I mean, you can pretty much go all out in 1 and 2. You just got to let off a little bit and let it carry up to the wall, and you can pretty much go all out in 1 and 2. 3 and 4, it's more technical. In 3 and 4, you got to let off on the brake. Get on the brake and get that truck to rotate, and that's what I was having problems with, was getting it rotate. I was actually downshifting after about 15 laps into the run, so I could get it to rotate a little bit for me. So that was the only way I could get the thing to rotate in 3 and 4.
Gotcha. Well, next week, North Wilkesboro. What is the mindset, maybe the strategy going into North Wilkesboro there?
Go learn the track. I've never raced at North Wilkesboro yet. I don't even think I own the track. I have to go back and look to see if I actually have it. I may have to buy that track.
Well, I'm pretty sure you would enjoy it for sure if you do get it. That's for sure. But Paul, is there anything else maybe you'd like to add from tonight's race, or maybe just give some more shout outs there, Paul?
I gotta give the shout out to everybody in here, man. To go caution free at Darlington, except for the stage break, is remarkable. I mean, hats off to everybody. It's a very technical track. It's a fun track if you like it, but it's got a love-hate relationship with me. But yeah, like I said, it's hats off to all these guys, man. They did a superb job.
Yes,
well,
sir.
Congratulations, and we'll see you next week, hopefully at North Wilkesboro, Paul.
Yep, I'll be there.
All right, bud. Have a good one.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate
No
you.
problem. Next up, we'll have. Alright, so Gilmore's not there, so it'll be Zach Deuscher. Uh, Zach Deuscher.
What's going on, buddy?
Well, you said it. You had enough to hold them off.
I
Once
promised
again,
you I was going to
no,
get win
I know you
number
did.
2, and this is for you, Brian. This is for your broadcast.
No, I know that's what you said, but great job tonight, P1. I guess you were untouchable. I would say. Yeah. You did what you said. You're gonna hold Paul Witt off and all that. So how would you? How do I put this? How would you
Well,
describe
Brian,
the
at the
overall
top of the
race?
show, he said his truck was on rails, so
There you go.
pretty dominant.
Literally all night, my truck was on rails. I could put high or low, as you could tell, and it really didn't affect my truck at all. I was still just pulling away without even trying.
Yeah, you won there by almost 16 seconds, 15 and 7/10 of a second win over Jeff Gilmore there. Pretty dominant performance. I want to say you led at least 75% of that race, if you don't count like that saving strategy with Chamberlain there at the beginning, and the pit strategies that was unfolding the pit cycle later in the race. But good performance there from you, Zach. Next week, North Wilkesboro there, that 8/10 of a mile short track. Will probably be the mindset, the strategy going into that, Zach.
Win number 3 is coming, baby.
Well, look to
Wilkesboro's
see.
always been good to me, so I'm excited to go there.
Maybe Philip can get a top 5 next week instead of a 7th. He had a little bit of some issues here this evening, but Philip normally runs pretty well at North Wilkesboro. Get your teammate up there in the top 5 with you, hopefully. But just kind of giving a shameless plug out there to Phil. But yeah, I know.
Yes,
I know
well,
you
that
qualified
sounds
on the poll
appropriate.
here. Yeah. But I know you qualified on the poll here. Dominant performance, like we've been mentioning. You said at the top of the show when we were talking to you after your poll win that you said your truck was on rails. So, just did you think maybe Jeff or Paul might have had something for you? Were you surprised that you actually pulled away multiple times there to those leads?
Not really, just depending on how early they pit. Usually Paul pitted about 10 laps before me, so the time I got back out, it was just a lap or two with my fresh tires, and I was going to be around him and flying ahead of him.
That's what I was. Yeah.
I really noticed that the second time. But it actually ended up helping him the second time or later on in the race. I think he pitted from like 6th or 5th. That actually helped him finish where he did on the podium with you, I do believe, kind of trying to do a short pit. But yeah, North Wilkesboro next week. Got any shout-outs or maybe anything else you'd like to add about tonight's race, Zach?
It was just a great race. This league is very fun. I recommend anybody that's watching this to come join in the fun. It's an absolutely fun league. Very respectful drivers, clean racing, as you can see. Then I thank Aerokinetics for the skin and sponsor on my car. I would like to say hi to Philip, my great buddy / teammate. Paul, Jeff, all of them guys. Great race. Cannot wait for next week. Also, you guys, great broadcasting. We do not thank you guys enough for broadcasting every week.
Yes, sir, Zach. No problem. We enjoy it. If we're not busy, like I said, I didn't think I was going to be here. I thought I was going to be in Charlotte, but unfortunately, work late, and yeah, that's unfortunate. So That's what got me stumbled at home here tonight. So
Oh well, it was worth it. It was a great broadcast.
it was a good one, a nice fast one too as well. So yes, sir, awesome job. Oh yeah, you dominated tonight, untouchable. We loved
The
it.
way I
On
like it,
rails, as Will
baby.
says, on rails, phenomenally. You should be the points leader by now, I do believe.
I was last race already. I should
Oh,
have
okay,
extended it
okay,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, he
I,
was already the points leader.
oh, okay, yeah. I
Got to get that
haven't
gap
checked
going
since.
now.
Yeah. Well, you should extend that gap a little bit more. So, anywho, well, we'll see if we can go out there and put on a dominant performance at Wilkesboro. Short tracks never can tend to go good your way, but we'll just have to
We
see
can
from
hope.
there.
We'll hope for the best. I like it, so I'm hoping for win number
Phillips
3.
good there. He is. Phillips real good. You pin Phillip
Let's
on
try
the
to get him to
outside,
win.
he can
That'd be
do it.
awesome. I'll
Because
push him
Phillip
to the win
almost won it
somehow.
on the outside, but he got caught up there. He did. A couple last year he did. But all
Yeah,
right,
track's
Mr.
tricky.
Zach, nice to see you.
Yes,
And
sir.
go hammer down a few brewskis and go at it.
Hell yeah. Thanks for the broadcast, boys.
Is there? All right, well, you do your
Oh,
phenomenal sayings, and we'll close her on out.
yes, indeed. Well, thanks to Brian Hunt there, the producer slash director slash uh, main guy there. Myself, I'm just here for the color and the commentary and my 2 cents. William Roberts and Brian Hunt, we'd like to thank everybody coming out, viewing the SRU Truck Series, putting up with us, listening to us, if you do. If you want to get in touch and want to race in this wonderful truck series, contact Mark Koshik or Jason Adams and try to get in touch with those guys. I'm sure Brian can, if you can find Brian somehow, he can get you with them as well. But anywho, next week, North Wilkesboro, I'm sure that excellent historic short track will provide a fantastic, entertaining, enthralling race next week. So be sure to tune into
I
that.
think it will.
Until then, yes, indeed. Final thoughts of the night. Pretty good, short, uh, somewhat, yeah, it was a dominant performance, but sometimes that's what you get. But uh, good battles, though, throughout the field this evening. But until then, hopefully everybody has a good and safe night, and we'll see you next week, hopefully.
Let me close out of this because I can't see nothing.